I started studying how to prioritize and make sure that mentally I was healthy enough to get everything I needed to get done, and to hell with the rest. And the productivity system was born. We started sharing it with our team. And more than a productivity system, it is an evolutionary system for you to become enhanced cognitively in the way that you prioritize your output, which thus makes you more productive.
You're listening to the Traffic and Funnels Show.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Traffic and Funnel Show. Here with your hosts, Chris Evans and Taylor Welch.
Just run out of breath in the middle of the intro.
Man, I haven't worked out in so long. I injured my leg.
Here's what happened.
It takes a lot to accomplish that.
Chris came to Nashville.
Tell the story.
Chris came to Nashville about a month ago, and he decided that before he got up on stage and stood for 3 days straight speaking, he should go on like a 30 incline walk, busted his hip.
Wasn't 30.
Busted his hip out, and then he could barely walk. And then he took his family to Disneyland, where they basically walked around for a vacation.
30 miles a day.
And so you're feeling good today. I can tell.
I'm on the tail end of the healing, though. I definitely had to have torn my gluteus.
I don't think you tore
maximus.
If you tore your glute, I think it would be a lot worse. But yeah, it's pretty bad.
How do you know what I tore and what I didn't tore?
Dude, I'm a master of things. All things glutes. I'm a master of the glute. Anyways.
Hey, can we let people in? This podcast is going to be a little bit raw.
Yeah.
Can we let people in on just the raw side of growing a business and having a team?
Yeah.
And productivity and people.
Yes.
So I walk in the office and it's 10:25. Usually when I'm traveling out, I typically hang with the family in the morning. You know, we're going to Florida today. And so everybody's still on the daily stand-up. And usually those don't last past 10, 15 minutes. It's a check-in, kind of just our routine for the team. Like, what in the world is going on? So I jump on and Taylor's in there training the team. What happened, dude?
So here's what happens.
I'm titillated.
We have a specific methodology for getting a lot of output, getting a lot of things done. Honestly, people actually do ask me all the time, because I post like 2 to 3 times a day. We write a lot of content. We do 4 podcasts, and we're extremely productive. We're extremely effective. We're basically a media publishing house. And so we have a methodology that we've developed, me and you together, over the last 4 or 5 years, about how to get things done, how to prioritize, how to say no to things that don't matter, and so you can say yes to things that do matter. And we teach that, and it's called the Productivity Pack. And our team gets access to it as soon as they start. Shameless plug real fast, trafficandfunnels.com/productivity. We're actually opening this back up to the public. I think by the time you hear this podcast, it'll be open. Anyways, here, bring it back.
Go check it out.
Bring it back. So we're in the meeting this morning. I'm like, show me your daily map. And 2 or 3 people on the team don't have their daily map. And I was like, listen, if I hire people out to my house and I'm like, I want you to paint the house white. And I come back 3 days later and they've painted the house brown because they think it looks better brown. I'm like, what happens to those people? It's my house. I'm the one that paid for it. I asked you to paint it white. You painted it brown because you thought it looked better brown. I'm not paying you. And by the way, you're going to fix your mistake. You know how different is it when somebody comes in? Look, dude, we have real estate all over the country. We have a 8-figure business to 7-figure business. We've got things all over the place. We have probably, if you add it up, dude, between staff, contractors, and everything in between, it's probably 80 to 90 people that work for us. And I want this done a certain way. And you are coming into my house and you are doing something different because you think that it looks better or works better or whatever. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. So I started training the team on my expectations because the level of their output is suffering and they want to blame it on how much work they have to do. No. So I started going through the team and I was like, do you feel like you have a lot to do? And they're like, oh yes, I have a lot to do. I'm like, compared to who? Compared to me. I'm in the middle of a sales meeting last week. We have 2 houses in Kansas City. You know, we had to pull the kitchen out of one, fix electricity in the bottom. Yep. I have to train the sales team, deal with marketing, deal with sales mentor. And you do not have a lot to do. People compare themselves to the lowest in the pack to get their confidence. and it's a mistake.
Whew.
That's why they don't grow. Going off today.
Yeah. So stop comparing yourself to average or low to average. It's amazing when you look at guys who have built empires, multi-million-dollar empires, billion-dollar empires, they have the same amount of time in the day as everybody listening to this podcast. So how in the world are they able to do what they do versus everybody else who they're struggling? They think it's this huge mountain to climb and get 15 grand a month in revenue, or 20 grand, or maybe 5 people on their team. Why? Because they're comparing themselves to losers.
Yeah. They have ego, man.
It's crazy that I just said that. I said the word
You're
losers.
usually not that mean. I'm kind of shocked.
Well, I took my supplements and I think my aggression's just up this morning.
Dude, I saw somebody post on Ryan's Steenberg's post last week, which Ryan Steenberg is like our son, basically. He came into TF like 5 years ago when he was 12. Anyways, this guy was on there chastising Ryan for a point of view, and he started stuttering like a chicken, trying to boast to other like female chickens. And he was like, I have 7 businesses and 6 full-time employees. And I was like, wait, hold up a minute. You have 7 businesses and 6 employees? It's insane that people will they will puff themselves up and make themselves feel so good. And really what it comes down to is there's not enough oxygen for your ego. You can't survive there. You have so much arrogance and so much ego. And this isn't even about ego or arrogance. We're talking about productivity. But it's amazing to me that people's belief systems literally will incubate them and make them feel special when, dude, Jeff Bezos has the same amount of time that I do. Gates has the same. The richest people in the world have the same amount of time that I do. What kind of arrogance is in me to believe that I can't do $1 million a day in revenue when they can do $1 billion a day? Like, you know what I mean? It's insane.
Yeah. So can we just, why the productivity pack? Why was it developed? Just maybe give people a little sneak peek, a little behind the curtain look.
You want the true story?
Yeah.
You want the true story or the marketing story?
How about both?
Here's the true story.
Because I love marketing.
Bro, you've been trying to get us to have kids forever. Ever since we first connected in business. You're like, you need to have kids. I got ready to have kids before Lindsay did. But do you remember 2016 and 2017? Those years of our lives?
Yeah.
I remember a time, it was like late 2017, early 2018. I was trying to tell Lindsay this time for us to have kids. And her biggest concern was that she didn't want to raise a kid by herself because I wasn't home. I wasn't around. And I didn't figure it out right away. I didn't figure it out that week. I wish I could be like, man, it was a light bulb moment for me. And I was like, oh my goodness. And then the keys to the universe suddenly exposed themselves to me and I started developing the system. But bro, me and you both know what it's like for the most important things to be held hostage by the least important things. We know what that's like. We know what it's like to make bad trades in life where we trade. We talked about this yesterday. We used to make we paid ourselves like barely 6 figures and we worked 80 hours a week and we were exhausted all the time. And it was just such a horrible trade that I didn't want to, all the productivity systems were just designed to be like, here's how to squeeze a little bit more in the time you already have. And I'm like, I don't want that.
Right.
Like, I don't want to have to do more stuff. I don't want to have to spend more time. I started studying how to prioritize and make sure that mentally I was healthy enough to get everything I needed to get done, and to hell with the rest. And the productivity system was born. We started sharing it with our team. And more than a productivity system, it is an evolutionary system for you to become enhanced cognitively in the way that you prioritize your output, which thus makes you more productive. Make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy how utilizing something like the productivity pack puts you in such a place of power. And the reason why is because when you're in business, and people who are listening to this are entrepreneurs, they have team members, they're spending money on ads, they are in growth mode. You understand that anything like that can throw you off track, can throw you off course. And so the thing that is so powerful about having a method and a process like this is that you plan ahead and you develop your plan of action based on a place of strength that is not emotional. right? So how we do it is we do it for the month and we do it for the week. We plan out what our biggest priorities are so that when we are in the battle, things are coming at us, employees are going crazy, things are happening. We have our plan of action. We have our war map so that no matter what's going on, we're not making changes based on emotion when we're actually in the fight.
Yep.
Right? We know our plan. And so we just stick to the plan. And so I'd say that's one of the biggest things for me is having that. So whether an employee gets fired or they quit or something crazy happens, you still have your course of action that keeps you on track. And people don't realize, they do not realize how much not having a plan of action when you get into those moments is really, really crucial. And not having it, how costly it is for you and your business. Because not only do you have the financial costs of being thrown off, but you also have the emotional costs of not accomplishing your goals. You have the confidence cost. Right? If someone says, oh, I want to do $100,000 a month in revenue, but they don't really have the map and the plan to do it, right? They lose confidence. And so the chance of them actually hitting that goal is very, very, very minimal because of their confidence.
And one more thing to add to that. I think people, like, honestly, we were guilty of this at the beginning, but you need a lot less than you think you do to hit a lot more than you actually want.
Yep.
People think that there's all of this stuff that they don't know and they have to figure out we'll talk to people. They'll be like, I'm so overwhelmed and I'm so confused and I just know I need to do a million different things. Like, what's your goals? And they're like, I just want to do $1 million a year. What? You need like 3 things. You need a cell phone.
Yeah.
You need a social account, primarily Facebook, and you need a good offer, the ability to sell. It's amazing how people get into our programs. They start working with us one-on-one, and it's like they will go. Steenberg, we're talking about him, to a couple $100,000 a month, and the dude's like 24 years old. He doesn't ever send emails to his list. He doesn't have a website. He doesn't know how to spell correctly half the time. Neither do I. But he's got the basics. He's got the fundamentals. And one of the beautiful things about this productivity pack is it helps you reduce the clutter down to just like literally what's the most important thing? Got it. What's the second most important thing? Got it. Write it down. What's the third most important thing? Everything else, put it somewhere else. And
burn it.
It just makes you really fast because people think they need way more stuff than they do. I promise you don't. You just need the right information, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. When people feel overwhelmed, especially if they don't have a 7-figure a month business, then something is, I'd say, very, very wrong.
Yeah.
And I would pinpoint it to a lack of clarity. When you have a lack of clarity, it feels like everything is hard. Everything in the world is hard because you don't know what is what. You don't know what is right and what is wrong. And I'd say most people, if they don't have a process like this, they operate there. And it feels like if you think about it, everybody listening, it feels like you're just carrying this huge weight on your shoulder, right? And you're walking uphill. If you feel like that, you're probably lacking a clean process that will get you clarity every single week and every single month so that you hit your stride, you build momentum, and you can knock your goals out of the park. Anything to add to that?
No, dude, I just had this thought that I wanted to write down. Your ego will cost you far more than any economic correction, recession, or depression ever will. People are so obsessed with the wrong things. Everybody wants to ask us questions like, why are you buying real estate? It's at the top of the market. Do you think the market will correct? Maybe, bro. Who cares, though? We're buying the right way. Do you think that now's the best time to start a client business, or should I start it later? Maybe. Who cares, though? People's ego, actually, the ego people develop when they make a little bit of money prevents them from the lessons that they need to make a whole lot of money. So people get encapsulated and stuck in a level. It's one of the grossest things that I've seen is these people pontificating online. And it's like, dude, you built an agency that does $40,000 a month. And now you are yelling at everyone, refusing to listen to advice, refusing to pay for more mentorship. Your ego is the most costly weapon that is being used against you currently. I would say the more people you can get around who will call you on your shit and be honest with you, like we've done, the safer you're going to be in any sort of correction or recession. Don't know why that came up.
Why would you say that's the case? How is that developed?
By, what are you saying? Like getting people around you?
That people get that ego.
Because, like for me, let's take me for an example. And then we can use you later. But in 2014, I made $32,000 all year. Well, our average daily take-home rate is $32,000 a day now. Just for TF, not for other businesses. It would be very easy for me to fall into that trap of thinking like, dude, I've got it made. If I'm comparing myself to the 2014 version, that's why it's so tricky. It's sneaky. Mm-hmm. It's like, because people want to compare themselves to backwards. But if you want to really grow and get to work, you need to start not comparing in the unhealthy sense, but stacking yourself up against your potential, who is the future version of yourself. And so I think that's why it's been difficult for me, even at times, dude. Think 2016, 2017, 2018, where it's like nobody could teach me anything unless they made more money than me. Oh, it's so unhealthy. It's so damaging. Yeah. Because I had built up this king of the mountain persona without realizing, dude, there's probably people that I don't even know they make more money than I do that I'm unwilling to listen to, you know?
Yep. 100%. Yeah. So if you're listening to this and any of this resonates with you, go check out this productivity pack. It's incredible. trafficandfunnels.com/productivity. If you get one little bit, it'll make a huge difference. And I think, just to put a little asterisk on this, look at how you learn. And I know for me, when I'm looking at purchasing a book or an Audible, I'll look at just one thing that can move me forward, one thing that could be a little pivot that can swing the whole door. And so I encourage you, go check it out. It'll be well worth your time. There are people who aren't even in business who have utilized this, and they're accomplishing goals that they've had on their vision board for years.
Yep.
If you want clarity, if you want a plan, if you want to feel good, if you want to accomplish your goals,
dilly,
go check it out.
All right, trafficandfunnels.com/productivity. See you guys later.
That's the French version.
Adios.
Thanks for listening. For more from Chris and Taylor, visit trafficandfunnels.com and get a free gift just for being a subscriber. That's trafficandfunnels.com.
I believe the number one determining factor over having a life of growth and surplus, abundance, and momentum is actually the way that you think. Every single day for 3 to 4 minutes, let me start your day by teaching you how world-class producers, the sharpest, brightest, highest income, most influential people in the world think. And they think about their money, their lives, their influence, problems, setbacks, and everything in between. This is a fascinating daily podcast, and it's going to be really, really quick. And it's really, you think about it like a vitamin or a supplement for you to take every single morning. Look, everybody takes supplements and vitamins for their physical health, but even more importantly is your mental health and your mental toughness and the way you think about moving forward. It's dailymindmedicine.com is the URL. It's absolutely free. Go subscribe, dailymindmedicine.com. I'll see you over there.